All right. So now let me share a quick story with you. I had a client call me 2 weeks ago. He was from 2020. 2020, he took my Wolf of Wall Street class, right? And he's like, hey, Dr. Kelly, I didn't even know if this was your number. You still had, the same number. I didn't know, but I had to call you because my son said, Dad, you need to call that lady, that lady that you had me take her class, right? Now, his son was in 2021, January, I think his son was 11 years old. 11. I teach babies this stuff, so I'm letting you know. I was teaching his son, who was 11 years old at the time. Okay? So his son was now that he's in high school, his economics class, they're doing a stock market simulation project. Okay? Well, because of what that baby remembered when he was 11 that I taught him, he is at the top of the class with this project. He's making the most money in the stock market with the project that they're doing in his economics class, right? And the teacher asked him, how did you know how to do this, right? And he said, well, my dad put me in this class. This lady, she was a mentor. She taught me how to do this, right? And the teacher started asking him, well, explain how you do it. And he's like, I can do it in my head, but I'm not good at explaining it. So then he comes home to his dad. Now, his dad's name is James, and he's James Jr., so he's JJ, right? So JJ comes to James, and he's like, Dad, there was a lady I need to know because I need to be able to explain this to my teacher. And so he comes home, and he's like, Dad, can you contact that lady, that Dr. So-and-so, can you contact her, right? And so he's like, and now mind you, James don't remember who he's talking about. James don't remember who JJ is talking about, right? Because it's been 5 years. And so he's like, well, who, son? Who? And he's like, yeah, Dr. Such and Such, Dr. Such and Such, right? And he's like, son, I don't remember. Now, the funny part is Mrs. James, she is listening to JJ tell her husband, Dad, that lady that you had me, that lady you had me working with, right? So Mrs. James, she's looking at James like, who this woman harpo that you got my son talking about, that you had my son working with, who is this lady, right? So James is telling me this story, and I'm on the floor rolling, right? I am like, oh my God, because I know Mrs. James is like, who the bleep, 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 right? And James, he can't remember it's me. Because it's been like 5-6 years. So he can't remember. He's sitting there like, he's telling the son, I don't know who you talking about. And the son is like, Dad, you do know who I'm talking about. Dr. Such and Such. You know. So like I said, Mrs. James is all up in James's grill like, who the... Right? And it's funny. So finally, James is asking JJ, okay, well, when and what? And then JJ says, you remember I was 10 or 11 years old. And finally, James is like, oh, you mean Dr. Kelly? Oh, okay, cool, right? So Mrs. James is like, oh, Dr. Kelly. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, man, because everybody know I'm cool, right? So she's like, oh, Dr. Kelly. Oh, that's who you're talking about. Oh, okay. Now, she's good. James is out of trouble because JJ was over here dry snitching on James. So anyway, after it came out that it was me, then James called me, told me this story. I'm on the floor laughing. And now, to finish the story with you guys, the reason why JJ wanted James to call me was so that I can teach him or remind him about the way that I taught stocks, because there's a specific thing that I teach my clients. He remembered it up here, but he couldn't articulate it. You know how that is a lot of times. A lot of people, they know how to do something, but they're not good at explaining. Y'all know we've all been in classes where clearly the person knew what they were doing, but they couldn't explain it to us. So that's what JJ was going through. So he wanted his dad to contact me so that he and I could get on the call and I could break down to him and explain it so that he could turn around and explain it to me. So anyway, that's the story. So now I told y'all, all my new people, I told y'all that story because I teach children how to do this. Okay. So if I could teach a child who was 11 years old at the time, who remembered the information and now at age 16 is at the top of his economics class because of they're doing this stock market project. That's just showing you that I can teach it to anybody so that you can get in here and start making this money. But again, we have to play the game of leverage. Okay, leverage is what you use. Y'all know if you have a flat tire, you can't pick up the car and then put the tire on. You have to use a jack. That's leverage. Okay, so since you can't pick up the car by yourself to put the tire on, you have to use leverage. So what I'm talking about is how to use leverage. Okay, how to use your money